Oh, I didn't even know this was on. Oh my goodness. All right, okay. Hey everybody, so I'm just gonna wait for people to start joining us, and hopefully we have enough signal here. We have a really awesome live today. I'm very excited about it, and I'm just gonna give people a chance to just hop on. So let's give you guys a chance to hop on so that nobody misses this great news, more great news, you know. And I wanted to give people hope today that are suffering through, you know, the family court, quote unquote. It's the same place, like we've always said, family court, CPS. It's the whole thing. Even if you go through and you read online, if you Google any state and you Google 4D funding, you're going to see where 4D funding is totally tied into the Department of what they call Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services. Boy, are they doing a good job, right? Keeping us healthy, keeping our families human. Right. So in the meantime, guys, while you guys are loading up on here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share. So just bear with me, and welcome everyone. I see you guys on here. Please go ahead and share. You could start your own watch parties as well. Let me know how my sound is too while we're getting ready. I have a very special guest today. Yeah, I'll just be waiting for you guys to join us right now in the meantime. Let me see if anybody can kind of type in there how the sound is, if you guys don't mind. Because you're definitely going to want to hear this. I'm going to keep it, you know, not long. Probably do this within 30 minutes or so, maybe 40 tops. So everybody can get a chance to get some hope back in you, you know? So thanking you for the parent power in advance. You're so welcome, Diana. Diana, can you just let me know, can you guys hear me pretty good before we get started here? Because I'm just going to wait for this live to load up. I've had a lot of censorship, a lot. So I've got, I think, 7,000 followers. And everybody's always asking me why they don't get to see my live videos. It's really ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So thanks, David. Hi. So if you guys can please kind of just share this right now so we can get the numbers up so people don't miss out on this great news, because they have censored me, and it is, I'm gonna say, you know, it is what it is. But I mean, we do need the people to hear the good news and what's really going on, the truth. I do want to recommend and tell everybody and to also the Punish for Protecting YouTube channel. That's Punish the number 4 Protecting YouTube, because you can watch stuff as it go back and see some of the amazing testimonies throughout the couple of years, you know, that we've been on the social media. Actual interviews by the parents themselves. So that's always encouraging. You know, guys, I just want to make it very clear. Yes, this is a very evil system. There's no question about all over the world. Okay, we're having light and darkness, and light wins. God's people prevail. We prevail. You know, you hear the same story over and over again. You hear the what's happening and the negative stuff of what's happening, but you have to remember that it's God that always wins in the end. It's His people that prevail no matter what. All through the Bible and all through the current time that we're living in right now. He works all things together for those that love Him. He works all things together for good for those that love Him and are called according to His will. Okay? And He makes all things good for us, and He's going to make all things good for you too. So stay in the vine. Don't get out of the vine. Okay? So thank you guys for joining. We have such a great testimony today. I have my guest here today, and I'm very excited. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you guys to Charlie. And before I do, though, guys, please go ahead and share and watch party this, okay? Are they messing with the video, David? It figures. It figures. Let me see if I can just fix one thing, guys. So hang tight, because you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss a second of it. It doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. I do have an idea. Why don't we move down a little bit so I can pick up the Wi-Fi from the deli? Sure. And hopefully we'll have a better chance. So, guys, thank you for bearing with me, guys. All right. Thank you. It's going to take about 1 second. Sure, that will help me. Thank you. It's going to take about 1 second for us to just move to this Wi-Fi zone right here. And hopefully it won't be, I don't want you guys to miss anything. I don't want you to miss anything. Okay? So, and we're going to be having another special live coming up this week. I don't know if you've seen Belinda, but she's going to be exposing some stuff this week as well. And we're going to talk about, two of the people that I want to talk about right now, most importantly, one person that gets attacked as much as I do is David Jose, and this is why I'm doing this live, because this is his affidavit that won. It is David Jose who presents this affidavit, gives it out for free for everybody. I've never charged for the affidavit. I do charge for my time because I've spent out exorbitant amounts of money, and this is all I do in life is do this for family. So so I've never received a grant and nothing like that. Okay, so we just have our time, our hours, and our expenses at this point covered, and that's how it is. And I don't apologize for that. Okay, there's no work like this in this world. Okay, there's no work like this. This is missionary type of work. Okay, so this is David Jose's affidavit. I want to make this perfectly clear. My live person is right here, and he's going to testify to how powerful, and I advocated for him. So let's start with that. And then Robert Slavin, listen, I'm not going to go into details about what we do, where we go, or what have you, but we had an interview with the woman, the mother, who clearly, I can post it again if you guys would like. It's also on my YouTube channel. It's called Honesty and Truth of what happened when we went to California, and Robert worked his butt off, okay? The driving that he did alone, a machine couldn't do, okay? And with all this type of stuff, which I'm not going to get into. These are the people that you want to know that really truly have all of our backs in all of this. So now, without further ado, here is Charles, let me switch this camera over to you.
Hi, Francesca. How you doing?
I'm very good. So Charlie, is this something that you ever in your lifetime thought you would go through?
No, absolutely not. From the beginning, I always wanted to have a family. I mean, it's been my goal in life. It wasn't. Some people want to be football players or baseball players. I wanted to be a father, and I took that very seriously. Took pride in it, and it was noted amongst friends and family how well I did with my children and the close relationship I had with them. My children have always come first. Before anything, it's my children.
That's right. That's right. And I live in the same town with you, and my son actually knows your son. I think they're exactly the same age, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah, they are.
And so I can vouch for the fact of how you are as a dad. So let's kind of go through. You ended up getting divorced, and we're not talking about the mom in any way, but there's been a lot of attack against you. We'll leave it at that. And when you had no place to turn, and how many attorneys, bar members did you have, and did they make the case better or worse?
I had 4.
Okay, so before you met me, you had 4 attorneys.
4 attorneys.
In how long? In what period of time?
I think about a year's time.
In 1 year, you had 4 attorneys.
For one, I paid for. She took the money and ran.
Took the money and ran.
She took the money. She made the case much worse for me. She drove that right into the ground on me. Gave me a bunch of bad advice. And then, right before she took off on me, and she did that legally, she went into court and she just said she could no longer represent me. She was going off to Maryland or something like that.
Okay, so this wasn't an attorney that ran because of me in that case. This one just ran
she
was just a user.
Yeah, she took the money and out the door she went.
Prior to her taking your money, how much time did she spend with you to counsel you, to learn your case?
Oh, no. That was maybe an hour.
Maybe an hour.
Maybe an hour.
And then just left you high and dry.
And just kept asking me for more money, but she couldn't.
How much money would you say you had? You gave her
$10,000.
$10,000. Wow.
About 20 minutes of representation where she totally deep sixed the case.
Okay, so now let's go to this next 3 attorneys. How much time did they spend with you? How many phone calls did they return? How much time did they spend with you?
None.
0.
0.
So 4 attorneys and zero help, 0 guidance, 0 help.
I paid $10,000 for about 20 minutes of representation and an hour's worth of counsel, and then the next 3 they were assigned to me by the court, which was a joke because I would go into the court case. I would contact them. I would Google their names, find out who they were, and then make arrangements to have them call me back or whatever, because I wanted to do the right thing.
Okay.
I didn't want to get my eyes beat shut. I would go out of my way to contact these people with nothing. I would show up at court thinking to myself, well, how in the world could this be? How can I go in there and
end up like this.
Yeah, and be fairly represented. The guy doesn't, or there was only guys at that point. Only
you had
talked to me 30 seconds before we went in.
Right.
Now the first guy, this is right before you got involved. He talked to me about 10 minutes before court. Told me I couldn't win. They all said that I could not win.
Well, I love it. So So you're paying these people to tell you you're going to just fail anyway, but let me have your money anyway.
Yep.
And let me destroy your life anyway.
Yes.
So that's sickening.
They were letting me know that the system was stacked against me, no matter what, and it didn't matter what I had.
Meanwhile, let's go back to the people that have just jumped on. I just want to make this perfectly clear to the new viewers that have just hopped on. So, Charlie, you have a great background, and all you've ever wanted in this life was just to be a dad. That's been your goal. You didn't care. You just got done saying didn't care about career or anything like that. All you cared about was being a father.
I put my family first before career. I have a good career. I'm an electrician.
I know.
I do quite well, but I could have done better. I could have done better in a lot of different areas. Except I would always put my family first. To me, work came second. Always came second. Whether it was ballet, a play, a school production, didn't matter. I volunteered a lot of my time with the school, with coaching. Everybody in the community knows me. They know my face because of their children, because I was with not only my and treating their children as if they were mine, because you got to keep.
That's exactly right. So you have 4 attorneys, exorbitant money, and little by little now you're being financially hit because, on top of that, because you have to go to court constantly.
My wife's attorneys was to just, it may sound a little conspiratorial, but it wasn't. Didn't seem very interested in the money. Because I was giving it to her directly, the interest into court time and time again, and let this judge,
I know that,
who knew nothing about our backgrounds, knew nothing about what my wife had done or did not do in the past, only knew what was presented before her, which was to have this attorney keep bringing me in, wasting my time, cost me 3 jobs in my union, because I would go and have to keep missing work.
Yep.
And then
meanwhile, you're supporting your children. You're supporting your children with these jobs.
Yes.
So, okay, and you're having no representation anyway. So then, now you're at your wit's end, okay, at this point, and you're going through this for over a year, and now you're facing jail.
Jail.
For how long?
I was told a 6-month minimum and an 18-month maximum. If I remember
minimum,
correctly,
18-month maximum. And let's talk about this for a second. We live in the same state, so we know about Crazy Como, and we know how he's letting out actual criminals, pedophiles, child abusers, traffickers, and so on and so forth, gangs in this state. But they were looking at putting you, an innocent dad who loves his family, loves his children, supports his children, in jail for almost 18 months.
Yes.
Okay.
And to the point where, during that time that I kept being run into court, you see, the way a union works is you go, they give you a job, and you show up. Now, if you don't do the right thing, or you miss time, whatever the case may be, they're going to lay you off. There's a line you have to go into the back of. So then there would be a 6 to 8 month wait. This is why I found myself starving to death. I lost 70 pounds in this process.
Yes, let's talk about that a little bit. You ended up buying a house next to your ex-wife so you could be closer to your children.
Yes, I did. It was not much of a house. It was dilapidated, uninhabitable, and I moved into it because I had nowhere else to go.
Because of what they were doing to you.
Yes.
And because of how they were draining your finances and robbing you from your jobs.
Yes.
So you're the kind of a guy that's very loyal to not just your family, your children, but also, sorry for the noise, guys, but also to your work. Like and they're destroying this. They're literally ripping it apart.
Yes.
Okay. So, boy, what a benefit these courts are, huh? They're just fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, they really do care about you and your kids.
Yeah. It's the best interest, right? Okay, so now let's talk about that a little bit. So now you're scared, of course, and you're thinking, oh my God, I might be going to jail. Now who's going to be... Now, how often were you with your children? Let's talk about that.
Well, mostly every day. Officially on the books, it says that I am to have them Thursday through Sunday, 3 out of 4 weeks, every Thursday. But I had them every week. My ex had a business here in town. She didn't want to be bothered with them on the weekends, so I had them every weekend. None of that was accounted towards me like, oh, hey, you know, what, let's deduct that from the child support.
That's
Obviously, if he's got them an extra.
That's right, because you're paying for them, obviously food and everything in the
Yes.
house, and that's expensive with the three
Yes.
children. Okay, so they're not even looking at that. They're not caring about that. They're just liking that you have a decent paycheck and how much can they extort from you.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go, and all of a sudden one day, by the grace of God, you're in the Marlboro laundromat.
Yes, yes.
All right.
And I run into you. We start talking. You tell me who you work for, and you only gave me a little bit of card. It wasn't like we had a big interaction. You gave me the card. I brought it home. I put it on the fridge. And I had a court date coming up, and I was trying to go the standard way. The way of dealing with the lawyers, dealing with the attorneys, seeing if I could get something to work that way. And that was a complete fail.
Mm-hmm.
That was a complete fail. They turned their backs on me. They would not return calls. They because when I was looking into the dark, looking like this was it, I then called you.
Mm-hmm.
And
So is it?
yeah, I was preparing my house for me to go to jail.
Hold on, let the music go by. We're in New York, people, so this is like a party. So, okay, so you're thinking that the worst is going to happen, which obviously, let's face it, that's going to harm your children. Obviously, if that happened to you, and they're not going to get, they're only going to have the one income now from the mother, and she's not going to be able to. She doesn't want them when she's whatever. So we won't get into all that. But the point is that they're going to be losing out on a father who loves them, a father who protects them, a father who supports them, and a father who they would be heartbroken. Obviously, you don't have a criminal history either. Let's make that very clear.
No,
so,
I have a bad driver's license, but I've never done anything to the point. I mean, tickets, for driving, but I've never gotten arrested for doing anything nefarious or criminal. It was speeding tickets.
So let's talk about what happened. So then, what happened after that point? Did you contact me, or what happened?
I did. I contacted you. You called me back immediately. I was surprised. I was shocked. I gave you a rundown of my case, and you said, "Don't worry, I got you back. I'll be there with you when you go in," which I found shocking. I didn't believe you. I didn't believe it. Because,
I get that a lot.
Yeah, because everybody prior to you tells you, if you get to the point of talking to them, they'll tell you the same thing, and then they never show up.
So where was the first place I met with you?
Where did we go? It was right here in town, right? If I remember correctly.
I think it was in the deli.
I think it was in
the deli or the library. I'm not sure. And so we did a consult.
It was the library.
And did I type up an affidavit?
Yes, you did. You typed up an affidavit for me.
And what did we do with that affidavit?
It stopped them from putting me in jail.
Okay, let's stop with that for a minute. So this affidavit that I typed up, I spent, God knows how long. I know they take me a couple hours. Typed it up, and then I think we went and we got your affidavit notarized under oath.
Yes.
And then we shot up to the court, or did we go?
My attorney quit.
Your attorney quit when he saw it, because we filed it into
affidavit,
the. Yeah.
He was like, I'm done. He quit right there on the spot, and the judge allowed it.
And then what happened, though? You weren't going to jail that day, right?
No.
And how many times did they continuously try to force you to go to jail?
6 or 7 times.
And every time you walked out a
free man.
Say that again, so they know.
I was a free man.
A free man. Here he is. Never saw jail, not for an 8 seconds. So these affidavits don't put you in jail, then, do they?
They do not.
You were going to jail.
I was going to jail.
You were pretty much screwed.
You were there. Oh, you weren't?
I was at.
Were you there the day the cops were closing on me?
Not that day.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't there.
That's right. That's right. You weren't there that day. But it got to the point where they were closing on me. Hands on hips, ready to take me down. It was about 6 or 7 of them, but they were behind me.
Because they need that many to take one guy down.
Yeah.
You have to have.
Who would have gone peacefully?
Of course. Because
I don't want.
They have to. They got to really put some fear in you.
Well, they want to beat the hell out of you, so you turn around to defend yourself, and now they bring a charge against you and make you a criminal.
So let's also talk about the double miracle that's taken place with this affidavit and advocacy as well. I was obviously there, a part of it. Did I counsel you? Did I make you
You made me aware of the law. You made me aware of the rules that I was unaware of, because going by what they tell you, well, it's over. You're a father, so it's just time for you to go to jail. I mean, that's basically the way they put it.
Did they say that to you? You're a father, you're going to jail, or?
No, that's just how they.
Because I'm a mother and they put me in jail, so.
Yeah, I know.
But I know they.
Let me take that back. You're a parent. So one of the two, you must go to jail. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter how good you are. And it seems like they lean towards the parent for lack of a better word, is a little more dysfunctional.
That's right.
Out of the two parents, they're going to lean towards the dysfunctional parent and leave the functional parent sitting there holding the bag saying, what's going on here? And the system works for the dysfunctional parent. Boy, I'm probably going to hear a lot about this if this gets out.
Okay, so here we are today. Now let's talk about your children. Mm-hmm. So they never missed a second with you at this point?
No.
You were able to regain work now at this point?
Yes.
You have not had to go back to that hellhole at this point? And how often do you see your children now?
Oh boy, about 4 or 5 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
They're with me quite a bit. My ex is a little bit more lenient, when this whole pandemic started, she started bringing up the court, and I'm like, you're kidding me, right? I mean, at this point in time, you have to at least work with me, because you can't run to the court, you can't run to the judge. I actually think this was the best thing that ever happened, because it's forcing people to be a little bit more humane to one another, rather than run to a court system that is blinded by dysfunctionality. I think it's probably the best way to put it.
That's right. So if you were to just encourage any of the viewers, if you were to, let me ask you a question. Did I take $5,000 from you by any chance?
No, not a dime.
Okay, thank you. And you did pay for like very minimal consult time, I think,
Whatever
right?
it is,
a little travel,
actually,
maybe a little
because
gas.
I didn't have a lot of money, you bartered a lot of things with me.
That's true too. You helped me with my car one.
And you worked with me rather than just say, well, I need money, that's it.
So I didn't steal $5,000 from you. Okay, good. That's good to know. I mean, so finally though, you could say that like your life is picking up now. Things are how are they going?
It's getting a lot better.
You're able to pull your life back together.
Yeah, because it's funny because without having to go to court every couple weeks, I'm working just fine. I've been working throughout a pandemic. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, God is good.
God is great. God has been wonderful to me. And any advice to anybody is to keep turning to God. Have faith in God. The more you turn to God, the more God turns to you. So I've learned that personally. And God will put people in your path that will help you out. Today, obviously, even this interview, because I would know you, but I'd probably be in jail. So I gratitude. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. And like I said earlier when we started the live, David Jose, specific slave with all the advocating, genuinely boots on the ground, advocating, helping families stay out of jail and get their, you work it basically. So that's who I have my gratitude to as well, so I'm happy. This is very encouraging. Families needed to hear this today as well. Yes, Ginger, he is very logical and he's very transparent. That's right. Ginger said you're very logical and transparent. This is, we work with good people, good families that are been put through this. And it's obvious. I mean, we've seen it over and over and over again. We've seen the success of what the outcomes come. He just got done saying 4 attorneys, not a single one of them, not even gave him the time of day, let alone taking his money and then not helping him and making his case worse and giving you zero hope. And here you literally won everything.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I mean, let me just flip this. And I just want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you guys have been encouraged today. I see David on and the affidavits work, guys. They work. We filed it into the court and it dead stopped everything, okay? Instantly. You heard the testimony. If you missed this testimony, go back and watch it from the beginning. Bless everybody. And again, let me just flip it back to you. Thank you so much, Charlie, for being here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I can do anything for you.
Thanks, Charlie. All right. So God bless everybody. And keep watching because we have another awesome, we have actually Belinda. She'll be coming on this week. So we can go over some more things. But if you're new to this movement, if you're new, just know that please be careful who you pay attention to out there and try to just weigh it out. Use this brain that God gave you and kind of just try to weigh it out there, and see, take a look at the people if they're bashing others out on this social media platform. check out the people that they're bashing and see their work, and then see their lack of work of those that are out there bashing day in and day out, and the nonsense that they're telling. And this week when I interview Belinda Hastings, she's going to be bringing a lot to the forefront, and we don't even like doing it. Robert, hates doing these kinds of things where we have to expose stuff like that, but we felt that we are going to have to do this at this point, and it's for your sake. The reason why we do it is because we put our heart and soul into this, and we want to be able to save you from getting into further destruction, and so every once in a while we have to bring some stuff out. It's not something we enjoy doing, believe me. We don't have the time for it, actually, and we also have lives too, so, but we're doing it for you, and so keep an eye out this week. It's coming up this week. I don't have an exact date and time, but it will be this week, okay? Maybe Wednesday, to just kind of bring out and show you guys truth. Again, the video that we did, Robert and I did after the California trip, it got attacked because those types of people got involved. All these other families that we work with, you guys don't know about, and everything's successfully moving forward. So that should tell you a lot. But because of those same people, it got attacked. So Robert and I came on here with the actual mother, and if you watch the video, it speaks for itself. It's as clear as what Charles just spoke of now with his full-blown win. Okay, we only have had one chance with that woman so far. So, but anyway, my point is that watch it and see the truth for yourselves, okay? I don't have to sit here and argue with these people, and I certainly don't have to defend myself, nor do I have to apologize for what I do, okay? It costs money to do this, and that's just how it is. Nobody's taking advantage of anybody, except sometimes I can say this much: we ourselves get taken advantage of, if anybody does. So, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed